Good morning and welcome to Morning News on New Day right here on TV3. My name is Safwa Bohini. We're also coming to you live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. And stay tuned. Now coming up. NPP caucus in Parliament reaffirms decision to boycott Parliament until the lawsuit challenging the Speaker's powers to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant is determined by the Supreme Court. NDC secures injunction to prevent the Electoral Commission from printing ballot papers for the Amenfi Central Constituency parliamentary election. Also coming up, Ghana Health Service calls for improved environmental and personal hygiene to contain the cholera outbreak after 9 cases were confirmed at Ada in the Greater Accra region. Details of these and many more coming shortly. Now to the details. In a historic turn of events, Ghana's parliament has experienced a significant power shift with the opposition National Democratic Congress (NDC) gaining the majority. Noble Crosby Annan reports the political landscape is now gripped with intense debate, with once majority NPP turning to the Supreme Court for interpreting Speaker Alban Gbagben's ruling that declared 4 parliamentary seats vacant.
Speaker Alban Gbagben triggered the historic shake-up in Ghana's hang parliament, declaring 4 seats officially vacant. MPs affected were Cynthia Mamle Morrison, Kojo Asante, Andrew Omwakwesiama, and Peter Kwachiaka. The Speaker's ruling, which followed a petition from the former NDC minority leader, Haruna Idrisu, was swift and final, appending the delicate balance in Parliament where the NPP had previously held a thin advantage.
These MPs cannot be allowed by law and my good self to continue to pretend to be representing people that they don't believe in and they don't in this house any longer.
Adding 136 seats to the NPP's 135, the tide has shifted. The response from the majority caucus was swift. Led by Alexander Apenyomakin, the NPP MP staged a dramatic walkout in protest. Apenyomakin clashed with the Speaker over the decision before he and his fellow MPs staged the walkout.
Mr. Speaker, no way! Mr. Speaker, no way! Honourable member, you don't listen at all. Mr. Speaker, I do. I never said you. Mr. Speaker, you said I never said you threw a paper at anybody. Mr. Speaker, listen to me. Mr. Speaker, listen. Honourable Majority Leader, I don't want to proceed to make some orders. Please resume your seat. I'm very serious about that. Mr. Speaker, please resume your seat.
He announced the side's boycott of Parliament until the Supreme Court rules on the matter.
A conspiracy between the Speaker and the minority to bring confusion in the House. We, as the majority caucus, immediately are boycotting Parliament until this matter is determined by the Supreme Court.
Recalling the 2022 parliamentary dispute, Gbagben's decision echoed a precedent set by former Speaker Michael Quay, who declared Andrew Omwakwesiama's seat vacant under similar circumstances. MP for Dansiasokwa Katie Hammond has been vocal in his criticism of Speaker Alban Gbagben's ruling.
Constitutionally, legally, the Speaker is completely out of power, completely wrong on this principle. Look at the commotion, look at the discord he's now introduced. Who is going to do government business? The whole country is going to come to a standstill because we are not going to sit there as a minority and do anything. From day one, the man has been introducing nothing but discord in this Parliament, and look at how he's climaxing with.
Leader of the NDC caucus in Parliament, Dr. Toforsing, says the Speaker was spot on in his ruling.
We want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana that the NDC majority will stand for the people of Ghana any day, any time.
North Tongue MP Samuel Okujoto-Ablakwa explains what lies ahead for the NDC side of the House.
The leadership will have to change because there are some committees that is clear who the chair must be and where the chair must come from in terms of who is a majority side. And then in terms of the actual membership of committees, all of these consultations are going to begin in, and it's going to be a very busy weekend. We're going to consult with our flag bearer, consult with the functional executive committee of our party.
MP for Banda Ibrahim Ahmed says the NPP should have anticipated this development.
I don't think the speaker got it wrong. The political parties, if not politics that they are doing, are aware of the consequences. You go to Supreme Court for interpretation, but as long as Parliament is concerned, the one who defend and interpret the rules of procedure, so long as Parliament is concerned, is the Speaker of Parliament.
With the elections just around the corner, the stakes are higher than ever. And every move made by the MPs will certainly be scrutinized by the public. Noble Crosby-Anna, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, leader of the MPP caucus in Parliament, Alexander Afenyomakin, says his side will boycott parliamentary proceedings until the determination of the matter at the Supreme Court. In a 6-page response to the ruling, MPP side of the House maintained the Speaker's ruling is a violation of due process.
We've just witnessed a conspiracy between the Speaker and the minority to bring confusion in the House. It is clear that Mr. Speaker avoided service of the writ to do the bidding of the NDC. It's so clear, but we believe in the law. We, as the majority caucus, immediately are boycotting Parliament until this matter is determined by the Supreme Court. The Speaker has no right to interpret the Constitution, and it is so clear that what he did was to give advantage to the NDC and do the bidding of the NDC. We are not going to go further to litigate. We have a process at the court. We'll follow it up. If the court makes a pronouncement, we'll respect the orders of the court. But because we believe that the issues we have raised are issues for interpretation.
Let's still stay a while on this matter because former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansah-Sareh, is expressing doubt about the ability of the Supreme Court to overturn Speaker of Parliament's ruling that declared 4 parliamentary seats vacant. He said the Speaker acted within the rules and regulations that governs the House.
I believe that either House, either of the political parties, reserve to it the right to check the correctness of the Speaker's decision in the Supreme Court. But as to whether what the House did today may be overturned by the Supreme Court, left in the open. But honestly, I believe that the House exercised its authority, in conformity with the rules of the House. Yes, it's based on the law and precedent, and the law and precedent go in favor of the Speaker's ruling. Because all the precedents we've had so far, show that the Supreme Court, will not seek to question, the functions of Parliament, where they are carried out in the regular exercise of jurisdiction of Parliament. The only opportune time that the Supreme Court may seek to overturn will be when it believes that the rules were sacrificed and that the conditions were not fulfilled. Now, in this case, I doubt very much whether the rules is in it.
Now, the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs, Dr. Rashid Rahman, is asking leadership of both political parties to keep calm and allow the rule of law to prevail as the Supreme Court, is yet to make a determination on the matter. Reacting to Speaker Bagben's ruling on News 360, he said the new development is good for the country's democracy.
Those who argue that, these people really haven't left the party, I heard the speaker today say the record of poll, I think the data from our election management body indicate clearly that these people have filed to contest on the ticket of their own as independent and not on the ticket of the party for which they went into parliament. And there are those who would also argue, Bakwesi, that this is for the future. But I think that the relationship between those individuals and their party, that is both the NDC and the MPP, because there's an NDC member as well, the relationship between those MPs and their parties, right. Those relationships have been broken.
Right.
And so really, I think, if you put all together, what happened today, for me, I expected it, but I think this is the first time, uncharted territory. Let the Supreme Court tell us whether maybe that is wrong, and I believe that will fortify our democracy as we go into the future. So I want to appeal to the leaders of our parliament, both the majority, the NDC and the MPP, I think, to keep their heads cool and believe in the rule of law.
Welcome to your Election Command Center, where we bring you all the credible news updates in the world of politics. Now to the NDC camp. The National Democratic Congress, NDC, has vowed to overturn the Electoral Commission's disqualification of their Amenfi Central candidate, Joanna Jankujo, a move it has described as baseless and unconstitutional. The party, in a press conference, announced that it has secured an interlocutory injunction to prevent the EC from printing ballots for the parliamentary race in that constituency.
In a fierce rebuttal, the NDC has described the move by the Electoral Commission as part of a broader scheme to weaken their position in the constituency. The party says the EC's actions are based on an expired injunction that lacks relevance, but only a plot to manipulate the democratic processes.
The EC, in an act of sheer disregard for the legal processes and justice, has chosen to disqualify a candidate based on an expired and irrelevant interlocutory injunction tied to a completely different election. This blatant abuse of authority, this overt manipulation of the democratic process, and this audacious attempt to deny the people of Amenfi Central their right to representation cannot and will not be tolerated. We recognize this for what it is: an orchestrated plot to weaken the NDC in key constituencies, tip the electoral scale, and sabotage the will of the people of Ghana.
I therefore declare Joanna Jankujo as a parliamentary elect.
The NDC General Secretary, while recounting events leading to Joanna Jankujo's disqualification, accused the AC of taking partisan decisions that are morally indefensible.
This is nothing short of a travesty of justice. It is a violation of the right of our candidates, and more importantly, a violation of the right of the people of Amenfi Central, who have made their voices heard through their votes. The decision to disqualify Joanna Jankujo is legally baseless, morally indefensible, and a slap in the face of our democratic principles. From South to Amenfi Central, the EC's actions reveal a dangerous intent to rig the elections, not through the ballot box, but through legal trickery and administrative subterfuge.
To this effect, the NDC has begun legal processes to bar the Electoral Commission from taking any further action on their parliamentary candidate for their Memphis Central constituency.
We had cause to be filed at the registry of the High Court's General Jurisdiction, a writ with an accompanying injunction application. That injunction application, together with a writ, was promptly served on the Electoral Commission.
The NDC has vowed not to rest until Jane Mensah and her colleagues are removed from office. Christian Yale, TV3 News, NDC headquarters.
The flag bearer of the NDC is questioning the credibility of President Akufo-Addo's campaign for his vice president, who is running away from the ills of his administration. John Mahama is tonight responding to comments by the president for him to make his stance clear on Galamsey and free SHS. A report by Komla Kluche, my colleague.
It's a no-hold-back on the fourth leg of John Mahama's Greater Accra campaign tour. Some 7 weeks to election in exactly 50 days. John Mahama stormed the Ningo Pram constituency. His first port of call was Old Ningo. President Akufo-Addo recently called out John Mahama to declare his stance on Galamsey. John Mahama sent a swift response.
It looks like he doesn't live in this country, because I've commented on Galamsey over and over again. The Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources gave political leaders the platform to outline their policy on small-scale mining. I outlined our policy. After that, there was questions and answers for 2 hours. We're there for 3 hours. So he should just tell his Flagstaff House media to get him the tape of what I said at the Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources.
On the free SHS, he wondered if the president was minded about the challenges bedeviling it.
Again, he's not in this country, or he has been sleeping, because I have made it clear that there are implementational problems with the free SHS. 1, there's no dedicated funding. 2, parents are not happy with the double track.
In Pram, the Member of Parliament, Sam George, made an urgent call on President Akufo-Addo.
The people of Ghana want to hear what your view is on the LGBTQ bill that is before you. Say something and sign it. Mr. President, you are beginning to appear as a supporter of LGBTQ.
Again, John Mahama has been called out on the decision of not debating the MPP's flag bearer. He puts finality to any expectation for a debate.
Bawumia doesn't deserve a debate. He is losing this election. I will not elevate him to my level and go and sit and debate him. Their campaign is failing. They have no message. And so he wants to be elevated to my level. No. I know my level.
The campaign team was also in the Kpong, Katamanso, Tama East and Central constituencies, where John Mahama campaigned to have the Greater Accra swing region green.
Campaign advisors of Bawumia do not want Akufo-Addo to campaign for him, because anywhere he goes and opens his mouth, he makes Bawumia's case worse. But they can't tell you, Nana, you are going to be a statesman after you finish. So you go sit your somewhere, leave the fight between Bawumia and Mahama. Let us sort ourselves out.
Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Afienya.
Now away from the NDC, the Electoral Commission says the presidential results for the 2024 elections will be announced at regional collation centers before the national declaration. Deputy Chairperson of the EC, Dr. Bosman Asare, says the move will help deepen transparency. He was speaking at the launch of the Election Day Observation and Post-Election Action Plan by the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers.
Electoral Commission says all political parties have agreed to this new format. As a result, their regent will be present at the polling stations and collation centers to participate in the process. Dr. Bosman Asare says the change will help to enhance transparency by allowing voters to track the results region by region.
And when you look at the structure of the presidential The current CI 127 allows what we call regional collation. So for the presidential election, after the polling station, all the results from the polling stations will be taken to the constituency collation centers. So from the constituency collation center, then all the results will now go to the regional collation centers. So what the commission is doing is that we are going to announce presidential results for each region. The commission took that decision because we want to increase the level of checks and balances in our processes.
He expressed the confidence of the EC to conduct another successful election at an event by the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers to launch 2024 Election Day observation and post-election activities. Polio will deploy 4,000 polling station observers across the country for the 2024 elections.
What we are doing is that we are complementing the effort of the EC in that we are trying to be a check on the result that is going to come out. So if there's anything untoward coming out and we find that maybe the result is too far away from what we had, then it means that something ought to be done to resolve the issue. We have sent some observers onto the field. They are going to feed us. They are going to tell us about all this mammobility you are talking about. They are going to come out with it. When they come out with a report of the long-term observation, then we are also going to write a report and then, of course, sit down with the stakeholders.
Election observation across the world has become another way to test the credibility and transparency of elections. Members of the diplomatic community commended Polio for its consistency in Ghana's elections. Christian Yale, TV3 News, Accra.
Now away from politics, the round 1 of the mass polio vaccination exercise against the type 2 polio virus has officially begun. And here in the Greater Accra region, Safwa Boahene was with the North Kaneshi vaccination team and has the full report. Today marks the debut of the polio vaccination exercise happening from today, October 17 to Sunday, October 20. And I am currently with the North Kaneshi vaccination exercise team to find out from them how the vaccination exercise has been going and also whether they've been able to meet their targets for the day. As you can see, this beautiful baby is right here. She has been vaccinated and will be moving on to another. From the early hours of the morning until afternoon, the team has been on the move, striving to meet the ambitious target of reaching 600 children under 5 for the day. The lead for the vaccination team, Maria PJ, shared insights.
We were given a target of 600 for today, and as at now, we've been able to vaccinate 512 children, which means we are very close to achieving our target. We attended 3 schools today. From there, we moved into the community. So we are now into the community, and then we are attending to those who are not in school, that is 0 to 9 months. We are doing this in 2 rounds. Okay, so we started the first round today, and we'll be ending somewhere Sunday, which will be 20th. And then the second round is going to be on the 14th of next month. Then we end on the 17th of November.
Throughout the day, the team encountered various misconceptions from guardians regarding the vaccinations.
Some people just say we are using them as trial, like we are trying their children with the medicine to see whether it will work for other children. But we give them the explanation, like we explain to them that those outside are even doing it. It's not only in Ghana. One woman was like, we've been doing it all the time. They are not saying anything about it.
A sigh of relief was evident on the faces of mothers who got their children vaccinated against the disease.
I
met the vaccination team at the shop and they shared important information about the polio outbreak. I urge all mothers to let them protect our children.
They are talking about polio. how to prevent polio and how to take care of the children so that they will not be contaminated.
The team did not only focus on vaccination efforts, but also took the opportunity to educate parents on how to protect their children from the virus through hygiene practices and the importance of vaccination. For the Okaikwe South Sub-Metro, they have set a target of vaccinating some 15,128 children by the end of the 4-day exercise. This marks the end of the polio vaccination exercise today with the North Kaneshi team, and they tell us they write P1 on the walls just to indicate that they have been to that particular house and they are done with the exercise, or it must be revisited. They do that to ensure that they are tracking their movement and the exercise. It has been a good expedition today. TV3 News, Accra. That's it for the morning bulletin, but New Day continues right after this short break. Do well to stay tuned. My name is Safwa Boyne and I've been doing this with you. Do have a lovely weekend.